This video is dealing about my impressions of the first few minutes, hours in Assetto Corsa Evo with a pretty extreme setup, triple 4K and VR. So far, I absolutely do not recommend to keep that as a daily driver sim, but I pretty much believe that this can be a very good simulator going forward, especially when you're looking now on like handling of cars, etc. That feels already pretty good. Performance wise, we are extremely far away. So far, we are missing technologies like DLSS that actually allows us in this very high resolutions to kind of keep stable frames. So far, I would, from a gut feeling, say playing ACC without DLSS would turn into a similar type of stuttering in the resolutions we are running. So stay tuned, look into the video. I will just explain a few settings, and then we also see how it currently looks like and what you absolutely should not do. So going now into the menu, you see it looks very, I would say, clean. I really like it. It's from my perspective a great and clean overview here. We have a few settings here which are not so relevant for now. One quick hint is if you go to controls and you set them up, I haven't configured now everything because I just want to go in and check the general playability for now. If you go to the pedals, I have Heising Field, Sim pedals, Sprint. You actually need to click on like throttle and brakes that you have set up. You have to go to properties, and here invert axis is actually being active when you set them up first. So make sure that you actually click on the specific like throttle and brake that you have configured, and then you can invert the axis. Otherwise, you cannot click on properties. You see this here right now. If I don't select anything, I cannot click on properties because the properties seems to be connected to the specific button or like steering wheel or something like that. Just as a quick hint, it took me a few seconds to understand that. Further, we also have a steering input. I've reduced the gain now to 60%, but I haven't touched anything in FanLab. So this for me gives a pretty natural feeling. I'm not quite sure if this is good or not. Video wise, and this is what we're focusing on, we have a native resolution of 12,378 to 2,160. We run 60 frames optimum. That we never hit 60 frames. We have set up vertical things full screen, triple screen. And I set the graphic presets to ultra. And the upscaling mode that is currently just FSR3 and none. And you will see that this is one of the bigger hits. The rest I just have turned in the fashion that it's just as it is when you start it and when you directly hit ultra. I guess there's a little bit of fine tuning possible, but I just wanted to check how the normal setting looks like and how it runs first. Going now into the simulator itself, just making a event and then maybe choose a car that is not the Abarth. We can actually and I set the weather to clear. rain also is not the most beautiful rain out there right now, but it works, and it also has an impact on the driving, so which is I guess the most important thing. What you see now is that it turns black, so I need to go into video. I need to turn on FSR 3. I can also show you how that looks like. So if I'm driving now with FSR 3, you see how my picture actually looks like. It's crazy. It's absolutely unplayable for now. It is, yeah, it's very, very strange. And I also have sometimes this very heavy stutters, very strong freezes. So FSR 3 is not an option. Let's go back, and it also doesn't give us a real performance gain. It feels similarly slow. So turning this off directly gives us a more stable picture, which I really like. You see now it looks pretty beautiful already. I would say also with the assets that you see around here, the grass, that really looks good. But it actually runs really bad. Really bad. Let's check if we can optimize it that it feels a little bit more like 60 frames. Let me quickly check that out. So now we played around a bit based on the settings that we typically run in ACC. I also don't run ACC in, ultra quality. I also have to reduce some settings. I did this here as well. So let's go down here. So I just reduced heavily lightning. I set everything on reflections to low. Shadows I reduced a little bit, but I want to have good shadows. The environment I actually reduced the densities. After grass, clouds quality we've reduced, and what we also know from other games is that mirrors are taxing. So these are the changes we made now, and I would say it runs a little bit better. I would give it maybe a 50 frames, 40, 50 frames-ish experience now. But we are still far away from 60 frames, while knowing that we also just driving alone on a track without any opponents. It still looks good. You actually can see that there's far less detail now around the road, but it still looks very good. And so far, I mean, I can also push everything down to the absolute lows. Let's check how that looks like. Last but not least, real quick, the settings on low, preset low. I just have everything set to kind of low. The graphic looks now, I would say it's time traveling 10 years into the past. So you will also see the visuals. It looks awful. And even here we have no fluent experience. A little bit more fluent, but you still had now the stuttering at the beginning. But graphics looks absolutely awful. Something we really, don't like, and it's still a not fluid experience, even on the low settings, which is, at the end of the day, the current status of the simulator. Let's check out VR, and then I will close the video for now. Let's have a look on VR. You see we have 72 frames. I've set my Quest 3 and virtual desk to medium quality, 72 hertz. To someone get it, I would say fluently running. It stutters here and there, and it just looks awful. So there's no anti-aliasing, there are no details. Everything looks very washed out. It is absolutely unplayable. And again, I'm driving here alone. There's no other cars, there's nothing around here. So there is also still a lot to do. The benefit here is OpenXR is directly integrated, but still, you see the graphic quality is not there, and the performance is also very far away. So what we can actually check here now is the settings I played around with a bit. Not that this is now also super helpful at the end. Because I believe that no one will play in this kind of way. But let me quickly check that. So running my settings in VR, we have set up the frame limit a bit to 90 frames now, so that it's not limiting to 60. And then here, we try to optimize it a bit. Again, upscaling FSR 3 looks extreme awful. Everything is here set now to ultra. I would expect that then the road, etc., would also look similar to flat screen, but it doesn't. It looks absolutely washed out. And then the rest I also try to, put down to the more low settings to get a little bit more performance. That's it. Also in VR, I absolutely do not recommend right now the game, simply because there's a lot that needs to be fixed here. Finally, I would actually say that the game itself feels, I would say the wheel and also braking, accelerating, it feels already good. I cannot say in a qualified manner if it's really close to any type of racing that we know from iRacing, ACC, Le Mans Ultimate. I absolutely cannot compare that because I have way too less hours into the simulator. But it feels, the first impression feels very good. But technically we are extremely far away from kind of having a good experience. What I would like to do is we are now at version 0.1.1, I guess. That's the official version that I have shown today exactly. So I try to update here now in a kind of frequent manner how the game will develop. Um, when do we get DLSS running? What is the performance implication? Does it look better now? Is it playable? So all of these things I can look into. But for now, Triple 4k and VR, both scenarios are borderline unplayable. And this is something you need to keep in mind before you're now trying to buy the simulator. I still would do this. I still would support the team and the project because I believe that there is something big that is coming and growing. It's simply for now. If you pay the 30-40 euros now, you absolutely do not get a daily driver, which will bring a lot of fun. So stay tuned and then check out the next videos around AC Evo that I will share in my channel.